Good day, guys and gals, and our non-binary pals. So, here I am today, and we'll take a little bit of a different direction today. Medyo nagsasawa na tayo sa politika dahil masyadong marami na tayong, medyo gasgas na yung topic. So, we'll talk about something na medyo current din ngayon. And today's May 14, and the past week, we've seen perhaps to a lot of people or a lot of new investors, this might be your first crypto crash. So let's talk about cryptocurrency. So what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency started with Bitcoin, and it started around right after the 2008 financial crisis. It was supposed to be, but really nobody really knows who made Bitcoin or which group started Bitcoin. But it was a response to the 2008 financial crisis, and it was a response against fiat currency, which was centralized. So what they wanted to do was a decentralized ledger of values. So parang it's a decentralized ledger that nobody really controls, and it was meant to be as an alternate form of currency. So yun yung origin ng cryptocurrency, of which the first one is, and of course the most popular one is Bitcoin. Now, before we go further, let's discuss muna ano ba ang concept ng currency. Currency is basically something that everybody recognizes as a placeholder for value. Intrinsically, currency or money doesn't actually have intrinsic value. It's a substitute. It's basically an IOU. Parang nagsulat ka ng may utang ako sa iyo 2 manok. But instead of saying I owe you 1 dozen eggs, I owe you a certain amount of value that everyone in a society agrees upon na merong utang sa'yo. What currency does is it smoothens the economy because we don't have to barter specific goods with specific people. So if I want to sell something, I'll sell it for money, currency, and then that becomes a marker or a parang memory in a ledger na may utang sa akin si X. Pero ang nangyari, yung utang sa akin ni X is distributed and hindi na siya nakatali kay X. So I can now then use this money to get something else from somebody else. So nagbenta ako ng itlog kay Juan, pero yung binigay niya sa akin pera, ibibili ko ng pakain sa manok from from Johan, di ba? So that's how money works. And basically what Bitcoin does is it creates that ledger and memory in a decentralized blockchain. So supposedly nobody really controls that ledger, and the maintenance of that ledger is shared amongst all the users ng Bitcoin ecosystem. And yun yung origin ng Bitcoin as currency, supposedly, and yun yung logic behind currency as we know it right now. So yun yung kailangan natin na introduction para maintindihan natin kung ano ba talaga itong Bitcoin at ano ba itong cryptocurrency. Kasi ngayon, we just had, such a big crash. I believe Bitcoin is now 60% below its all-time high when it was 69,000, and now it's trading at I think 30,000, and it went to as low as 25,000 the past week. So it's really very volatile. And the thing is, the problem with a currency that is very volatile is it makes it a bad medium of exchange. So right now, definitely, cryptocurrency cannot be used as currency because there's no way for anyone to actually conduct business with something whose perceived value, can drop in a single day na magda-drop siya ng mga 20-30%, or even worse. Meron tayong cryptocurrency ngayon dyan, yung Luna. It dropped 98% in a week. So, medyo mahina yung argument na ang cryptocurrency right now in its current form and its current use is actually a currency. Diba? So, yun yung isang issue against cryptocurrency. I'm not personally against cryptocurrencies. In theory, because of my libertarian tendencies nga, the idea of cryptocurrency is actually very appealing to me, except for the fact that a lot of the arguments that people are using for cryptocurrency simply aren't true. Like, they're saying that it's supposed to be a hedge against inflation, but right now na mataas ang inflation, bakit siya bumabagsak? And it's going down further. The value is eroding faster than the value of your supposed fiat currencies. Diba? Fiat inflation is really the value of your currency, your money, going down against the value of the goods. Inflation rate natin is supposedly at 8.2% from last year. Pero yung value ng cryptocurrency has fallen even more from the values last year. So the argument, the pro cryptocurrency argument of hedge against inflation has proven false over and over because of this volatility. And the next argument is decentralized. That while that may be true for what you call this, for Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, that's certainly not true for the other cryptocurrencies which are highly centralized. Example na nga itong Luna, the fact that there is one entity that can actually shut it down just illustrates the fact that it's very highly centralized. Tapos sila rin yung gumagawa, this company called Terra, sila rin yung gumagawa ng paraan paano nila isi-save yung Luna and UST na bumagsak. So the two arguments aren't really being supported by what we're seeing. So that's really the basic problem with cryptocurrencies as it currently is, di ba? I'm a firm believer in digital currency. In fact, it's happening right now dito sa Pilipinas. The adoption of GCash and what's the other one? Ano ba yung sa smart? Paymaya has seen dramatic growth, especially during the past 2 years because of the pandemic. Diba? So that's electronic currency. No actual physical paper money or coins are changing hands. It's just a ledger. What happens is we put our money in GCash, and GCash just keeps the ledger on their servers. It's a centralized virtual digital currency pegged to the peso. Kasi meron supposedly, when we put the money in the GCash system, they're supposedly keeping it. Of course, we're not really sure. For all intents and purposes, they're probably behaving like a bank and using that money elsewhere, di ba? Kaya nga meron na sila ngayong sa GCash, meron silang G-Invest, G-Savings. That leads me to think na talagang, the money is not there. The money is probably being used somewhere para kumita ng pera para mabayaran yung interest at yung investments na yun, di ba? So, GCash is behaving like a bank. So, GCash peso is not necessarily 1 peso na Philippine peso. Diba? So, if the GCash system suddenly crashes, then anong gagawin mo sa GCash mo? Wala. Diba? You can't do anything with it. But it is digital currency. And the same thing with China. Almost everybody in China, nobody goes around with cash. Everybody uses Alipay or ano ba yun meron sila? Alipay and all those other electronic payment systems, ganun na sila sa China. And I think even Africa has adopted the electronic payment systems because of the high highly volatile African currencies dahil medyo mahina nga yung gobyerno nila. So, ang ginawa nila sa Africa, ang inadapt nila is yung mga electronic payment systems ng China, which is very, very interesting. It's a very interesting phenomena. However, as I said, I'm in theory, I would love cryptocurrencies to work because I would love to have a decentralized, non-inflationary means of conducting business that's separate from government. But at the same time, yun yung sinasabi nila, tinitira rin nila yung fiat currency daw natin ngayon because has intrinsically no value. But the problem is, with what happened the past week, makikita mo na yung cryptocurrencies also operate on fiat, which is what? Belief. The moment yung Luna, the reason why it failed was because the general sentiment, no, I'm not saying that the Terra actually did something wrong. This isn't a rug pull. This is just a lot of other factors, na nagsama-sama that caused it. But it illustrates the fact that the moment people lose faith in the cryptocurrency, ibabagsak siya and it falls even faster than a government-backed fiat currency. Diba? Regular fiat currency inherently doesn't have any intrinsic value. The only value it has is that it has the backing of a government that can force you to recognize that currency. It is illegal for a business or for an entity not to accept the legal currency of a country if you're operating in that country. Some people may not be aware of that, but that's the case. The only reason why we believe money has value is because government says it has value. And the government has power over us, whether we like it or not. They have the law enforcement behind them. They have the guns. And that's really what it is. At least, sabi ko nga, fiat currency has guns and the state, power of the state behind it. But cryptocurrency doesn't have anything like that. And it still operates on faith. Kaya nga nag-crash eh. Oras na may mga, let's say, 10% na nawalan ng bilib, bebenta. Pag binenta, bababa yung presyo. And then more people will feel na, teka, mawawalan ng belief. So magbebenta rin sila. So that's how crashes happen. Even if we say na there was a concerted attack by BlackRock and Citadel on Luna, the thing is, the reason why they could do something like that is because the whole system is based on faith, based on fiat, that they know that they can erode that fiat and then make money off it. So even yung argument against fiat money is actually very weak because cryptocurrency is still a currency based on fiat. There's no inherent value in it. Some people will argue that the inherent value is the technology. No. The technology itself does not give it any intrinsic value. There is value in the technology. It can be used. I believe that blockchain technology has a lot of uses because of if you decentralize it, in theory, if you decentralize something, then trust goes up because there's no centralized group that you can blame or suspect na may ginagawang kalokohan behind the scenes. But unfortunately, that is not true with most of the other cryptocurrencies out there. Diba? Dahil it's very centralized. From Ethereum down, anything down, Ethereum is still quite centralized because the founder, Vitalik Buterin, still has a lot of say in how that cryptocurrency will go forward, diba? And more and more so for the other cryptocurrencies coming out. That's very evident that a lot of the decision making still happens at the level nung mga gumawa, di ba? So yun yung some of the big problems with cryptocurrency as it stands. So yun, ano ba yung what's probably going to happen soon? With what happened with Luna, Terra, and UST, what I expect to happen soon is I expect the SEC, the more news na lumalabas na may mga ang daming nawalan ng savings, ang daming nawalan ng pera sa nangyaring yan, the likelihood of the SEC, US Securities and Exchange Commission, to step in, and for that matter, the SECs of other countries to step in, goes higher. Is that necessarily a bad thing for cryptocurrency? No, I don't think so. I think government, masakit aminin for me, dahil nga of my libertarian tendencies, but I think for cryptocurrency to go forward, it needs regulation to prevent stuff like this from happening. Hindi natin, obviously, what happened isn't something that the Terra company wanted. Hindi ito rug pull. It's a lot of external factors, the general negative economic environment, plus the vulnerabilities of the system. It's a lot of factors. It's not a rug pull. But this highlights the fact that it probably really needs some regulation, because Wild Wild West cryptocurrency right now in its current form is like the Wild Wild West. That's why a lot of money can be made and a lot of money can be lost in the blink of an eye. Dahil nga Wild Wild West siya, there's very little regulation, and even the regulators have no idea what they're about to regulate. So, medyo nakakatawa yung situation ngayon. And while I'm not totally against it, I would suggest that people be very careful if they want to go into cryptocurrencies or NFTs or whatever as investments. Ang biro ko nga is don't treat it as an investment. It's probably easier for you if you think of it as gambling. Kasi it's literally almost like gambling. You really don't know. There's no it's not like investing in a company na makikita mo yung meron silang pinoproduce na product and this product is being used by people, di ba? It's not that it's not that type of investment. It's really just speculation, and it's treated more like a speculative commodity rather than anything, and by itself the cryptocurrency doesn't have any function outside of its own ecosystem, diba? Nobody seriously uses it as a currency to run a business, except maybe as a form of gimmick, diba? Imagine mo yung mga negosyong tumanggap ng AXS, ano ba yun? SLP, nung kainitan ng Axie Infinity. Kung hindi nila kinonvert to peso yun right there and then, iyak na sila dahil nalugi na sila, diba? They're not buying their ingredients or their inputs with SLP. So it was a marketing gimmick to get market share. They wanted to market to the Axie players, and they can treat it as a marketing cost siguro kung nalugi man sila. Pero you really cannot do business right now with cryptocurrency the way it's behaving. So if I was to offer advice, but remember, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a technologist, and I'm not familiar with blockchain technology. I can't talk about that. But if anyone was to ask me, I would say do not put money you're not willing to lose, or you cannot afford to lose, into investments like not just with cryptocurrencies but with speculative assets, diba? Wag mong ipasok yung perang hindi ka willing mawala or hindi mo kayang mawala. And more so, wag kang mangungutang para mag-invest sa mga ganito, dahil sobrang delikado, and a lot of lives can be ruined by being irresponsible and investing irresponsibly. So yun lang naman. This is not financial advice. This is primarily made for entertainment and dahil gusto ko lang makipag-usap sa inyo. So yun lang naman. Those are my thoughts on cryptocurrency. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Let me know siguro kung anong direction you want me to take. Dahil I'm taking a move away from politics a little bit dahil tapos na yung election and I think marami nang na purga with election or politics related content, myself included. So yun, once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening for 20 minutes. Medyo mahaba-haba tayo today. So, goodbye. Until next time, marami pa tayong pag-uusapan.